Mm-hmm.
This is the last time you're hearing my voice until the end of the episode.
But also at the same time, the complete opposite. Because it's terrifying and everybody.
Don't lie.
I feel like I've never received so many harassment texts in my life.
You've been trying to schedule this.
That's true. That's fair.
Nope.
I know. You're right. I'm sorry.
Probably around there.
Yeah. Because I wanted this to come out when Zach.
Oh, we're expert anxiety-ers.
was on vacation.
I'm so good at anxiety, it's not even funny.
I got
Could be a Christmas
It's gonna be
episode.
a fun Disney episode. Sarah, do that thing and watch.
More than that.
With Sarah, who's back.
Pretty much.
Didn't make it to the island. but she's back for another
Reading it
episode.
yesterday. She's reading the outline. She's like, when did it start? The day I was born.
Pretty much.
You look so excited.
Losing the outline.
First time. Just listening.
I mean, that was the first question I wanted to ask.
Have you listened to all the episodes?
Not all. I'm gonna be honest with you,
What
but
you skipped?
I don't know exactly which ones. I just haven't.
What ones have you listened to?
Like when I was.
I've listened to the diabetes ones. I've listened to the anxiety one. I listened to the depression one. I listened to the one about the. No. I listened to the cocaine one, which I was wondering where it was going with, but
Cocaine Bear.
I would take a few pops of my albuterol.
That one?
it was something about cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
Like I didn't need a steroid.
Oh, my gosh.
Spend cocaine.
No, I know it was like a movie and there was characters, but I was
Oh, yeah,
like,
the Cocaine
it didn't
Bear.
make me want to watch the movie. It made
Same.
me-
That for a few months until we.
That's a great movie. And then.
I feel like there's a lot of murder.
Oh, there is.
So I stopped doing that.
It's bear murder, so it's fine.
Okay. I don't want to get into that.
Huh? And then Lexi's sister, Brianna.
Hey, guys.
How many episodes have you listened to?
Oh, God, I don't even know.
None of us.
No,
Which
not
means
all of them.
not a lot.
Not all of them. No, I have listened to a fair amount. I honestly don't get notifications when they come out anymore, so I always forget to listen to them.
But, so, I started
Sarah, shut your
realizing
mouth.
that I had it.
Okay, so we can-
My chest is really tight, and I'm so nauseous, and I was like, I don't know what's
Let me
going
hear you
on.
say,
And Jack was like, dude, that's anxiety. I was like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But then now that I can recognize the feelings, I realize that I've actually had it for a lot longer
Also lived
than
together
I thought,
for quite
and I
some
just
time.
didn't
Yes,
know
we did.
that it was anxiety.
4 months.
So I've consciously had it for like a year and a half or two, and probably had it much longer.
Yes. And everyone
Probably
thinks we're
longer.
crazy.
But we did want to make it
No, not you.
Correct.
Well-
I feel like that needs to be.
I
said,
feel like
not
my story's
in a
kind of
way
also
to
like
judge
Lexi's,
others,
where
but
I think I
more
had
so
a lot
to say
more.
that's
Like,
part.
I
like
think
I
I
feel
had
like
it as a kid.
It's not even just Disney. I feel like we
And
quote
I never
all movies
knew
all
it
the
was
time.
anxiety
That's our
until
conversation.
Yes.
And then
I would say like probably
because
mid-20s.
we've watched so many Disney movies,
then
especially when. Well, I shouldn't say especially. When
I feel like I
still
didn't even
now.
realize I was having
gonna watch
physical
one with you last
symptoms
night.
until I actually
But I
started
feel like
going to a
because that was such a
therapist,
high
which I'm sure we'll talk about
Percentage
later.
of what we watched, it just.
But
like,
she
it just
started
stuck with us.
asking me
Yeah.
when you're having these
Honestly, when I
feelings,
put
because I
movies
knew what
on
I was
for
feeling,
Yeah.
and I knew I was having anxiety. And she was like, "When you're having these feelings, like what physical symptoms are you having?" I'm like, I don't know. She's like, "Think about it. Like, what are you feeling physically?"
How?
I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like
You
a pit
can't.
in my stomach.
It would be a
and
travesty.
I feel nauseous and my heart's racing and I feel like I can't breathe. And she's like, okay. So that's anxiety. Like,
I think so.
it's just
right?
crazy how it like
Or did it go
manifests
up?
physically.
I use
Yeah.
Mahala's Netflix. And
It is not.
Yeah.
Over the year. Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't remember,
Yeah.
honestly.
So I feel like I've had it for a really long time, but like
Just mooch
Didn't,
off everybody else.
like recognize it as anxiety
best
till
way to
probably my mid-20s, early 20s probably.
And that was for me too. Like I remember like sometimes having those feelings, and when I started to recognize that it was anxiety, I was like, but I'm not anxious about anything. I
Yeah.
don't get it. And then getting into therapy too. Like we'll talk about it, but that's when she started telling me like you don't have to like realize that there's anything wrong, but it's just your body's way of like telling you. I was like, oh, wow,
I was more aggressive.
anxiety is crazy.
More into like. I know.
It's always the quiet ones you gotta watch out
You
for.
never know.
What that means.
Mine,
Yeah.
So I feel like I was caught between two, but I feel like Lion King was probably as a kid my number one. I just loved Lion King. Everything about Lion King. That's probably my top. R. Yeah, yep.
For so make it yep.
And then me and Laura both agreed. We were talking about this yesterday. As we got a little bit older,
You're just
we
sad
think
about
that
this,
favorite
so
movie
you're sad about that.
Yeah, I made you watch that how many times, Lex?
but I was 7
Every
when it came
sleepover.
out.
Lexi would be like, so what movie? And I'd be like, Mulan.
Yeah.
She's like,
So up
oh
until,
God,
being,
again.
7, 8 years old, that's when I liked Cinderella, and then as I was starting to get a little bit older, I was like, but we didn't have Mulan. You guys had Mulan.
Yeah, we weren't allowed
Back in
to.
the VHS
We had the
days.
language blocker, so when we watched
Oh,
Mulan
that
at our
too.
house, it blocked out half the movie.
Yep, I remember that. And that thing blacked out butt, for God's
I
sake.
know.
Ah.
We had to pretty much either go to your guys' house to watch it, or if you guys came over, we'd be like, bring Mulan!
Oh.
At one point, we figure out how to turn the language.
I think so.
I think
we were like,
did.
wow, we're so bad.
Yeah.
Living on the edge.
What about you guys?
I think, like,
He's
growing
very
up,
open about it, so
Cinderella,
I can allowed to say it.
Yeah.
On air.
Little Mermaid.
Now we're up to 8.
Ooh, wow.
I never really got into Aristocats.
Oh,
Remember that?
Sarah, yep.
I was gonna say, I can
can
only hear the dirty version now.
Same. I can never
hear
hear
that
it.
song.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget when you pointed that out, and I was like, I don't either, but that's what it sounds like, so we're gonna go with it.
And also, the Rescuers. I feel like the Rescuers
See, I
and
didn't get into
Aristocats
that
were so
either.
underrated.
Do you know why that you tried to just live with it instead of figuring out?
The Rescuers made me
I feel like
Just-
Ava
was just a
has
thing.
quoted Aristocats. Like,
That you just
and
had
I'm
to
like,
live
how
with?
do you know? And I'm like, well,
She watches it with me.
yeah, I was gonna say. Like the shoot
I
finish.
put Beauty and the Beast. That was
That
always
was
a
a good
classic.
one.
It was
I
always funny
loved the
too.
Christmas Beauty and the Beast.
Yes,
I
we watched
still
that all
will.
the
Every
time.
Christmas,
Right.
I still want.
Yeah,
to watch
same,
it, for sure.
same.
But the OG was also very good.
Yes. Cogsworth.
There's some good one-liners in that one.
Yes, yes.
If
it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Do you think it was because once you found out
I said
this
to
is
Sarah
anxiety,
before coming in,
it
I
was
was
just like
Brianna's gonna have a
was
quote
there,
when we're
like,
not even
a-
on quote. She's gonna say it.
kind
If
of
the movie
like,
gets, I feel like your
you know how if you had,
memory
like,
of
a,
everything is
medical
unmatched.
problem,
Honestly.
you would treat it with medications or whatever. Do you think that you were just like, oh, it's anxiety, so that's what it is. There's nothing you can really do.
I
about it, so you
agree.
just
I feel like Mulan and
that type of
Moana
thing,
are my
or-
top.
Mulan, I think for me, like
Once it hadn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime.
tried to solve the problem on my own.
Okay.
Just kind of
Right. Right.
Is part of it just because of the age that you were too? Because you were like not early teens, but like mid.
I feel like it takes me a while to get into it, and then I'm.
Actor of
And I know a lot.
The llama?
yeah, David Spade. I
A
can't.
lot of my anxiety.
Wait a minute, it is?
I just
Oh.
can't. His voice grates on me or something. I don't know.
Why did I think it was somebody else? Huh.
I would say it's fun to watch, but it's not my. I wouldn't say it's my favorites.
Same.
And then I feel like
Obviously spiraled from that into every
Yeah.
facet.
and I feel like we didn't watch that one until we were like older.
Yeah, we were definitely older. Well, when did it? I think it came out when we were older too.
We Zach and I watched that pretty recently. 'Cause I think that was that your first time?
I mean, partly because I didn't realize it was anxiety, but
Yeah, we were older at that point. We were like almost out of high school by then.
Oh my god.
No, I graduated in 2009. So we did you? That's
well, I think for me because it was like such a specific
we just aged
thing
ourselves.
that we were like going through, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, obviously it's normal for me to feel like this, so it's fine. It's not anxiety.
My
It's just
favorite one
because
now
I'm going through this
is,
traumatic event.
I put Inside
in my
Out.
life. But
Love that movie. It
now
makes
I
me
realize.
cry at the end every time.
That one's just
And I'm not
good
ashamed.
message.
It is though.
And I think
It
that's
is.
Going on in my life.
That just kind of exaggerated it.
Yeah,
Or like
exactly. That's
You
I think
cold
that's
on
one
onions
thing that
on
like actually
your
made me
cow.
realize I actually had
Yeah.
anxiety. So like, not that I want
It's
to
a really
be,
good one.
going
And I
through.
still
Can I
love
say
Beauty and the
why?
Beast.
I
It
don't know if
makes me
those-
laugh. Like there's so many things that you don't even realize
But,
that
like,
were
obviously-
in the Disney movies until you're older and like, oh my god. Remember the part where Potato Head
We're
takes
cutting
his
that.
mouth out and kisses his butt with it in the first one, and I was like, oh my god,
Anyway,
I never
so
saw
my
that
anxiety,
one.
obviously-
Yeah, I know.
When I started realizing it was when we were are actively going through infertility treatments and stuff. And anyways, we're cutting that too. Just like they cut your testicles.
Oh my gosh.
No, but like, not that I'm like
Oh, we watched it all the
happy
time.
that we're going
That's
through
what I
this,
played.
but part of me is like, if we
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
haven't been going through this, I probably
And
never would have like
rehearsing a
realized
play.
there's other things in my life that I have
I feel
anxiety
like
with, and I never would
Incredibles
have
was
like
always
started
top,
therapy
still
and all
is
that
probably
stuff. So I'm
top,
like,
but Monsters Inc. I also
to
don't think we
look
had
the silver
Yeah.
linings of
watch it.
things.
It was like more of a specialty thing, and it took me a little bit to get in.
That's good.
Yeah, it was blue. Yep. That's what I put for my favorite Pixar movie too.
So when I realized like, oh, like this is I have really bad anxiety. I had been going through like a bad breakup at the time. And I lived with my
Ratatouille,
best
I
friend
love-
who's a mental
Up
health
gets
counselor.
me
every
She's a licensed mental health counselor. And I knew I was having like horrible anxiety, and I was just like a mess. I was crying all the time. I was just like having
we
mental
just discuss that?
breakdowns, and
Oh.
she was like, you know,
My
maybe you
answers are
should
kind of
think
the
about
same,
talking
yeah,
to
like, I
somebody.
feel like-
And I was like, no, you're a mental health counselor. Like, I'll just talk to you.
Isn't it
And
so
she was
good?
like, it's different. Like, I'm your best friend. Like,
Wait, did I watch that with
it's
you or
not
no?
the same when you go to see somebody
It's
who's
so good. I love that. I
completely
turned Jameson onto it because
unbiased, who
somebody
doesn't
had
know
posted it. Their
you,
son had been
who,
watching it, and I was like,
you know, is
I wonder
actually
if it's good. So I put it on.
counseling you and doing therapy with you. I'm not your therapist. I'm a
literally brand
therapist,
new.
but I'm not
It's
your
really good.
therapist. So I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just talk to you. It took me like a couple years to actually be like, okay, I'll go see somebody.
yeah.
Oh,
So this is we can just combine.
Yeah, mine haven't changed.
same.
Yeah, I don't think I was ready. I don't think I thought like I don't need
Dumbo was
it.
okay.
Like I said, I was just like,
Oh,
oh, I can just talk
Pinocchio
to
was
you and I'll
never
be
really-
fine.
Pinocchio also.
So I think I just
Yeah.
kind of kept
I can't
pushing it
I
off.
would never watch Pinocchio.
And I also
Yeah,
feel
I'm
like
not a fan of that.
back then, like it wasn't that long ago, but I feel like there was
Yeah, it
also
was
kind
alright.
of a.
Remember?
I don't know if it has to do with the way that
I was
like,
literally
we
that's
grew
what I
up and
put.
stuff, but
I
there's
did
like
not
a
like that one.
big
That
like
one was
stigma
creepy.
with like mental health. Like you don't.
I don't think.
talk
See,
about it,
we weren't
like-
even really allowed to watch
I
that
feel
when we
like
were
I don't know
little.
if I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
true
it,
because she was like seduce it.
Okay.
And it was
so
about
Seductive,
Greek
there it is.
gods and
the
all
church that
so
we
were
grew
like,
up in,
right.
there was a huge like
Yeah,
stigma
was not
around
really
mental
into
health,
it.
and it was
Oh, was that my
very
hair out?
much so like if you have depression or you have anxiety, then like you don't have the joy of the Lord in your heart.
Yeah.
And I remember like there was a couple people in our church that actually like pretty much got like shunned because they like came out that they had depression or anxiety or something like that. Yeah. So it was like not really like talked about. Not that
I
I, was
didn't really
in
enjoy-
that church at that point in time, but I think it was just like the way we grew up. It was just like kind of
I feel like Snow White. I didn't really like.
get over it.
And I don't even necessarily feel like my parents agreed with that though. So, but still, part of me was still like, oh.
No,
well,
I feel like I
this
didn't
is-
like that
shouldn't be
either. And
feeling
then
like this, so.
I remember when the Sydney
Right,
White
yeah.
version of Snow White came
Oh
out,
my
like the new or
God.
Amanda Bynes version.
Yes.
Then I was like, oh, and then
And
it
there
made
was
me
a
want to
lot
watch
of
it again,
like,
but I was like,
even if
like,
you
it's
were
still-
struggling with stuff,
something
like
about it just
basically put on a
really
good face
made
and
me angry.
sweep everything under the rug. And like if we act like it
Enchanted
didn't
also had
happen,
the
then
same
like it didn't
storyline, and I
happen.
was like,
See,
I
like
love
For
Enchanted,
sure.
but it's different than like
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
I feel like the OG just didn't do it for me.
I put Pocahontas
Must
and
have missed
Wally.
that one.
too.
Yeah.
Wally, I can't get into Wally.
You don't like Pocahontas?
Pocahontas was okay. It wasn't my favorite though. I thought we were talking about everything.
Sorry.
My least favorite Pixar movie, actually, believe it or not,
Best friend.
because I was so scared of Sid.
You uncultured swine.
I don't even know quotes from there because I didn't like it.
I bit my mom in the theater.
Right.
We went to watch Toy Story and I bit her arm, and she's like,
Yeah.
I actually remember.
No, it really doesn't.
Movie I saw here.
What a nasty flavor.
Right. Oh, it's so helpful. Thank you.
We went to see Toy Story 2 in the theater.
Right. Right. think about
remember how
something
old we were.
else.
Remember we went
That's
I
my
only remember
favorite
going
one.
Dad,
to
and
the
I
theaters
think
for
it
Toy
was-
Story 3.
Thank
which
you
I thought-
so much.
I thought the Toy
That-
Story
Really helpful.
movies at first, like I feel like when I was younger,
But I
wasn't
actually
into
think
them,
like
and now I'm
before
like I can
I
watch Toy Story
realized
3.
I had anxiety.
I think they
and like
prolonged
not.
them.
Also, I think too, my anxiety
I
and your
haven't watched.
anxiety are
Is there
two
anything
very
past
different
3?
things.
Yeah,
just
there's
like
a
Yeah.
fourth,
mine
and then they're
years
making
apart.
a
Right.
fifth.
Oh my gosh.
But I remember like when yours was
Really?
super super bad.
I think they overmade them.
And, like,
There's too
we
many
weren't-
now of the Toy Stories.
we were like
Because the
pretty
third and
newly
fourth were
married.
like,
and I remember like not understanding like
I haven't watched it.
what it
I never
was
I don't know.
like for you, and I would try to be like helpful, realizing now that was not helpful. But I would be like, it's fine.
oh
like,
yeah, that's
just
boring.
like
it was
like,
boring.
I would be like, just don't think
Toys,
about it, or,
but
like,
I don't know. I just it
try
was boring.
working out. Or like obviously those things do help.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I realize like saying those things makes it worse. Because you're like,
Really?
obviously I'm trying to do all
I've
those
never
things, and
watched
I
it
physically
It's
start
can't.
to finish
sad.
because I
And I
don't
feel like
really
if you
love
don't
it.
have
me
anxiety,
cry.
you don't get that. You
Yep,
like
same.
literally cannot
I agree.
help like what you're
I
thinking. and what
wanted
you're
to
feeling.
like it more
as
than
much
I
as you
did.
try.
I really
like there's literally nothing that
I
you can
couldn't get into
actually
it.
do.
Yeah.
That was a huge adjustment for
It was
Justin too.
I
good,
feel the same.
but it wasn't.
He would
It was
say
definitely
things
not
like that all
something
the
that I would
time.
want to
Just be like,
watch.
just
Like,
think
oh
about
my god, I
something
can't wait to watch
else,
that.
or-
And especially for
It'll
Justin
be
too,
okay.
he's so like
Yeah.
whatever, everything's fine.
Yeah, and he would just be like,
I watched
"Oh, if I'm thinking about something,
late
I'll
on
just
Jameson, it was
think
too
about something else." And I was like, "That's
Like, my
great,
brain does not
but
work that
my
way."
yeah, it doesn't work like that." So it was like a big adjustment, but he's very supportive now,
Yeah.
obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes a while to like actually understand and comprehend and
I did too.
And I think too, like
Yeah,
I said,
that's what I
just
did
like recognizing that just because your anxiety feels one way, it's not going to be like that for somebody else. And
Right.
not trying to be like, oh well, this worked for me, so just do this because
Yeah.
that doesn't help either.
yeah.
So
Well, that's a really good one. It's a good one. I put now pour the tea.
I also had that because I feel like anytime someone's like, I have to tell you something. Like, it also depends for me, like, what, if I'm at work, there's certain quotes I use all the time, or if I'm home, or if, like, I'm with you. I feel like, because I
Yeah.
feel like if I'm at work, I don't know why, but there's something that comes out of my mouth that no one else gets.
I mean, I
like,
had definitely support from my best friend.
if there's like,
It's like,
they're
sure,
doing
whatever.
rounds and, like, there's people
Therapy,
like trying
go-
to fight over
go
who's
for
right,
it, you
who's
know?
wrong, and it's just like such an ego fight. I'm like,
I actually didn't start going to
one
to
time
therapy
one of my coworkers like overheard me, and
until
he's like,
I would say probably like 6 months to a year after I started going out with Justin. So I think it was actually more than 2 years. Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah.
Somebody in my life.
Yeah. No, it was
Yes.
actually because
It's always a good
I
one.
got to the point where
Yep.
my anxiety was so bad because of what had happened in the in my previous relationship that I didn't
feel like I
want. I was
also
like,
say,
I
like,
don't want this to carry into this
like all the
relationship.
time because I feel like if someone
And I don't
want to
take things out on him
I'm just
or
gonna be
like,
positive today. I'll be like,
you know, I don't want to.
or whatever it is.
Thanks.
Big nut.
I say excellent a lot.
Excellent.
Did you say excellent?
Yeah.
Because I said excellent.
Right.
I feel like that's it.
Right.
Right. See, I don't say things a lot at
Yeah.
work because no one understands.
Yeah, so he was really
me, so I'm
supportive
just
of
like,
me
I'm so
going.
appreciated.
Every
And
time Michaela will like
therapy is
call me or
amazing.
FaceTime me, and like if one of us can't pick up, we'll either send the meme or just a text. You're denying my claim. Like every single time.
Is like life changing. Like I remember
that
the
a lot.
first session I went, I was like so nervous.
is
Of
a
course,
great
I
one.
had so much anxiety going into my therapy appointment. And
I also say,
I
like, if
remember
someone says, like, oh, I
telling
see
my
you,
best
like,
friend,
oh, I
like,
know, I'll be like,
all
oh,
I
you're
hope she doesn't ask when
like
I
I'll
walk in
start it,
there
and then I'm just like,
is, so why are you here? I was like, because if she does, I'm going to lose it. And I walked in and I sat down. She's like, hi, so why are you here? And I just bawled my eyes out. And I was just like a complete
other
wreck.
one I
And I
had
called
on for,
Katie,
like,
my
everyday
best friend,
clothes,
after
obviously I have a
my
lot
first
more.
session. And I was like,
I'm
that
like,
was the worst thing. I cried through the whole entire appointment. And she was like,
that made it sound
it
like
gets
I say
better,
that
I
wrong.
promise.
Very
And
dirty, but I know what
I
you
just
mean.
mean like
my
scheduling
therapist is
wise.
so awesome.
That's
Like, she does. I don't know if you guys therapist does it, but she does like cognitive think. It's like the coolest thing ever.
Definitely the 90s,
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Sorry, I jumped ahead.
I said that
I feel like we
was my one of them.
Go together.
Yeah.
That was like the only good one in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was other ones I couldn't. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was that long ago.
Me and Laura were looking up like there's like silver era, gold era, Renaissance era. So we said the Renaissance era because that has like Lion King, Beauty and the Beast.
What year was
Tarzan.
that considered?
That
the
was
99.
yeah.
So,
Sure.
like, pretty
Yeah, I didn't tell
That
my
was, like,
parents
the
for a very
best.
long time that I was in therapy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I
That
think
also
it's
had
just another
Mulan
thing
and The
of,
Lion
like,
King, so of course I'm gonna pick
stigma
that as
of
my
it.
favorite. Like,
Of travel size for your convenience.
Oh.
my favorite.
Same.
they were
gonna say.
good.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
my
What was it?
Like literally,
Aristocats?
he was like, yeah,
Brought it up like a dozen times.
Lady and the Tramp, Fox and the Hound was also during that one, which also was a good one.
that
But I
one
feel
was
like they're kind of like
sad.
sad ones. I don't know, a little depressing.
Yeah.
And you're mine, Todd.
Yep, that's my mom too. I guess I'm just a terrible mother.
or like his mom like tried to
Yes.
say like she knew
Sharanya!
because I didn't tell
Right.
you. I didn't tell anybody. And she's like, no, we knew. And he's like, no.
Yeah, my
you
mom would
didn't."
say like she didn't know I had anxiety or like
I feel like
where
they
is this
also
coming
started,
from?
like, after,
I'm like,
I feel like they had a weird age, like in the
It's
early
coming from
2000s. Like they were trying, and I feel like, some
oh
of them
my
were good,
God,
like
yeah.
Meet the Robinsons, but then like after that,
yeah.
like the Wreck-It Ralph, like those were like better ones. I feel like they were starting
Yes.
to get more like,
Nope.
and you were like, oh, is this
Please
Disney?
don't.
Is
Yeah.
it Pixar?
No,
Because they
just
were more
another
like into
thing.
like the CGI
Yeah.
stuff and like getting better at that.
Jameson loves Rick. He
Call
is
him.
Rick.
Treasure Planet was also during the
Treasure
early
Planet.
2000s.
I love Treasure.
Yeah, so I feel like they were like,
I remember telling
Here it is screaming. That was a difficult one.
I feel like we need to define what we mean by that.
Right.
Best as in like the most evil, or best as in like their character was the most like
What?
detailed.
I have two.
I think
I have
the
three.
best.
I guess I didn't realize it was that bad of a deal. It was just like,
You did a good job of covering it.
Like you didn't totally hate them?
Right.
I have two, and I'll explain why. My first is Hades. Because he's so funny.
He is actually pretty funny.
Oh, is my hair up? I love Hades.
Yeah.
He's got really good one-liners. The other one I have is because she's very misunderstood, which you find out later on with one of the live-action remakes.
Do you think that also has to do with like I don't know,
Yes, that is 100%
this is just out there, but
true.
do you think that also has to do with like being a guy? Like you kind of have to just
But
not
she
show
really was wronged.
that kind of stuff, or the
get
guys
that.
don't talk
Okay.
about that kind of stuff, or
She honestly, yeah, she's top. She's gotta be top. Yeah.
Pull the liver crack.
like your feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that my?
I feel like she's probably top tier. I think some of the worst characters, like the most evil of the evil, would be Cruella de Vil, because like you're literally collecting dogs. Like I can't even think about it too much.
Anita, darling.
Yeah, but like so I don't like. There's nothing about her that I really like, except for the new
Right.
one when they did with Emma Stone. Oh my gosh, I
That one was really good.
loved
She was
that.
misunderstood
Right.
too. Yeah.
But she, like, the original Cruella de Vil was just a terrible person.
She was
and
creepy.
Scar,
Right.
obviously, killed his brother, kind of, you know.
Scar.
You can't really get worse than that, so those are my worst.
I put Gaston.
He was just, like, you never, like, you can't like him.
You can't like him, but he was also like just like
Yeah.
right. He's just so cocky. So cocky.
Super anxious.
Inch of me's covered with hair.
all I had to say was just
Yeah.
all right.
No, it's definitely not. But you know, it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. That's all I put though. I didn't know if like we were supposed to put more than one, so I didn't.
I also, I mean, I don't know that I really like him. I think he has got a couple
Yeah.
that are good, but like half. But I think
Oh, I
it's
didn't
mostly
think of
because
that.
I like Sneak.
Yes, you associate them together.
Yeah.
But that means bluff.
I feel like meds are really helpful and they're great, But I feel like if you
I say
don't,
that to
like
her
I said, the whole
randomly.
CBT thing before, like if you don't learn how to
I
think
thought that was
the
the
right
end of
way,
your sentence.
the way my
It
therapist
just
put
came out.
it is, your brain is basically like a muscle, just like every other muscle in your body. So if you think of working out and you're training your muscles wrong, you're squatting wrong the whole time, you're deadlifting wrong, you're gonna hurt your back, or you're gonna keep doing the same thing over and over and over if you don't learn how to train the right way. And that's basically what your brain is doing.
Really?
You think, oh my God, this is the
I
worst
put
thing every
Mulan.
single time something
She
bad
was, like,
happens.
just, like,
your brain goes
you know,
to the
it was
worst,
one Disney movie where they
spot,
went-
and then that's where anxiety comes from, and you're thinking, what if, and worst case
I guess,
scenario,
like, for me, it was
and
because
what's going
that
to
was, like,
happen, and
the, like, one
every
of the first
time
Disney
something
movies that they made
happens,
where it
and that's
wasn't
how your
about
brain
the man
reacts. That's
saving
just
the
like
woman.
the
You know what
neural
I mean? And
pathway
it was
that your
about,
brain
like, her
takes
being a
every
strong,
single
independent
time.
woman trying to protect
But
her father.
when you learn how to think the right way, and you're
Yes.
training your brain the right way, you actually create like new neural
I
pathways.
feel like my favorite. I
And that's
honestly
how
don't.
your,
I feel like they are a main
like, brain
character, but they're
starts to
not the
think
main.
the right way. It's really
Well,
cool.
okay, so Genie from
Yeah.
obviously Aladdin, but he is main. Like you can't
yeah,
say
he
he's a
is
side
definitely
character.
main.
I feel like
Oh.
the old one and the new one, he's just like the best.
Yes.
He's so
No
good.
one can beat Robin Williams either.
You could just
Yeah,
say
and
he
I
was
think
in
they
Dover.
did. I think
did.
Will Smith literally did. Like I heard so much after. Oh, we can get into the live action, but
Maybe don't say
I
it.
feel like no matter
Just be like,
whichever one,
un-F
like the Genie's just number
Yeah,
one for me.
he's always hilarious.
So good.
Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I also
Oh, Pooh
Yeah.
Bear. Me too.
you and I went to see the Pooh movie.
Yes, the Christopher Robin one. Yes, not that one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Wait, which
I don't
one?
remember that.
Which one?
It was a while ago. We went to see Harry Potter the same day, and then we went back and saw Winnie the Pooh later.
What? I honestly don't remember. That one was good.
I don't remember when it
Right.
came out, but it was like one of the newer ones.
I don't remember that. Huh?
Yeah.
I still love Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, the little.
That makes me sad thinking about it.
Jameson has recently been into Pooh, and I'm living for it. I love watching.
Yeah,
him.
I honestly did shockingly well when I first started going to therapy. I did electroconvulsion therapy. No, I did shockingly well once I actually started CBT with my therapist. I remember after I don't know 3 or 4 sessions. Like I pretty much cried through the first 3 sessions.
Yep.
Just cried the whole entire time. And then I remember after a few sessions I
Lex?
came in.
You
She
literally
was like,
put
"How
Mike
are you?"
Wazowski?
And I was like,
She put 3.
"I'm good."
okay.
I did this and I did that and I was telling her and she was like, "You
a good one.
really just
Or pickly pear.
used what I told you and figured out how
time,
to
beware.
make it work in your brain." And I was like, I feel like I'm the type of person that will just be like, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. But I couldn't figure out up until that point of I was like, I know I have anxiety. I just don't know why and I don't know how to fix
I
it.
was literally
So
singing that
once
to
she
Cora the other day, and she was looking at me with
told
her
me
eyebrows,
this is what
questioning.
you're gonna
She was
do and this is how you're gonna think
know
and
what
this is
to
what you're gonna tell
explain
yourself
it,
and this
I'm
is
like, okay, well,
how you're gonna act or whatever. Then I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And it's just
That's literally what I
obviously had to
put.
still keep
I
going
put
back for a
Mushu.
while,
I said
but
Kronk if he counts.
just
Otherwise,
made a huge difference.
Kronk
because he's
100%
all,
But I did also
as a side character because I feel like
start
he is
taking
also
Xanax.
such
So
a
that also
Kronk is amazing.
I
not
think
right
he's
now,
number one.
but I do kind of want to go back on something only because I had to stop taking medication when I was pregnant. And
All right.
the postpartum anxiety was real. I think my biggest issue of not being on meds is
Samantha.
I can make it work during
I
the
didn't
day
either.
and just stay busy and do whatever I have to do to keep my brain off of it. It's once my head hits the pillow at night, I am just
Yes.
thinking
One of my friends
about
actually said that. He goes, I
everything and,
remember seeing the look
thinking
on
and
your face
thinking
when
and
she would
thinking.
say
And my brain
again,
just won't turn off. So I think that's the biggest
Seriously, we'd finish it.
help
Again,
that
I was
I think that's the biggest thing that meds are helpful for.
I just want to gouge
is
my
just
eyes out.
it helps me turn my brain off at night to go to sleep.
Mode. And guest.
Yeah. Sleep was
Can't go wrong with
sleep was the
Edna.
biggest reason why I ended up going on medication in the first place because my doctor would be like, "So are you sleeping?" I was like, "No." Takes me 3-4 hours to actually fall asleep at night, and she was like,
True.
"That's not normal."
You can pick one.
Just.
Oh.
What do you have? Shut up. That's the same thing I
yes,
put.
yeah, I couldn't.
Get out of
That's
town.
literally get out of town. I did put that one. That was literally
Yeah,
what I
I
put. I was
couldn't.
thinking, and I was like, I've always
I just
loved
had to
that one.
stay
I don't know
busy
what
and
it
like
is.
keep my brain distracted in order to not have anxiety.
Oh yeah, that's
Which
a
I
good
feel like
one.
was like the opposite for you. It's like
Those are the classics.
I don't know. Like you said, you just needed to like not be doing anything because that would make you feel better.
Oh yeah, you were saying that.
Because if you were like too busy or you were doing something that would actually make your
Yeah.
I'll make a
I was gonna say we haven't heard from you in a while. Me and Zach are just having our own conversation. Lexi's like,
pumps me, gets me ready for a workout.
down to
I also feel, I mean, everything for me was from Mulan because obviously I watched it so many times.
Wow.
Reflections, I would sing in the shower. I thought I was like in the movie. Yeah, I was like, wow,
Nice.
I'm
I like
the
it.
best singer ever.
It's not even like a song, it's really just instrumentals.
So I'm not on medication. I just don't feel like I'm like
Danny, Danny, Danny,
bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously going through
I'd be like,
treatments. You can't really be on anything else.
Yep.
But I actually remember
I
think it
also,
was like your
speaking of
first or your
instrumentals,
second
it just
session
popped into my head.
in
Trash in
therapy. You
Camp.
came home and
In
you're
the
like,
Tarzan songs, like where they're making the music with the
That was a
stops,
good one.
I would like
I
get into
think I'm
it,
fine.
break
Like
down.
I don't need
like,
it.
why do we do that?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, part of me was just like, I know what my issue is.
That's
So
an
I'm
underrated
fine.
Yeah,
Whereas
and
you,
also
like,
like Phil
didn't know
Collins'
where
other
your
songs
anxiety's
in
coming
there
from.
were
So I
really
was like, no, it makes sense that you need it. But
Listen,
like,
he
fine.
went all out for us on that
I really
album.
wanted
He
to
went
start
all
going
out.
because I knew it would help. But I was just like, no, like
Oh,
I think I'm
You'll Be in
fine.
My
And I
Heart?
think this was in like April or
that's a
May
good one.
that you started going
That one's a good
of
one.
last year. And I didn't start going until the end of August.
Oh, that's
so
a
it
good
took
one,
me like a
too.
little while to be like, all right,
Song from Lady and the Tramp to Cora, the
yeah, nah, not really. You are wrong.
All right.
Because I remember just
Wow.
being
Okay.
like, no, I think I'm fine. And then I
Way
was
to blast me on the podcast.
So then I ended up emailing them, and they got me in like a week or two later.
Okay. All right.
That made my
All right.
day. Thank you for sharing that.
It's a good one.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
That one's
No,
a
but I
good
remember
one.
my first session. It was the same thing as you. I was so nervous about it,
Yeah.
like to the point where I literally almost canceled it because I was
Right.
like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk about myself. I
Was it
hate
when
talking
she's-
about myself.
Yeah.
I hate talking
When
about
she's
my
singing
feelings
about
with
love
how they all
that.
have powers.
I love talking about myself.
No, I meant
I love talking about my feelings. I love talking about all that. But I was still like,
I just
she
don't
better
like,
not
like
ask
when
me
there's
why.
like
totally
attention on me. I just
fine.
don't like it. So I was like,
I'm
this is
fine.
literally an
Everything's
hour of
fine.
me having to talk about myself. I was
when I
like,
live
first
my
of all,
life
how am I going to fill up an
mantra,
hour?
that's-
Right.
Second of all, I don't know this person. Like, it's going to be weird. It's going to be
The dog
awkward.
surrounded by
I don't
fire.
want to cry in front of someone.
Yeah.
And then I got there. I don't think I cried the first session. But
No,
I left
I
and
don't
was
think- I
like,
think
There's
you were-
so
I
many,
remember
you
you
can't-
telling
we
me
could
that
talk
you didn't
for an
cry
hour and a
either.
half
I remember
on
being
this whole
like-
entire thing.
hey, get down.
All right, where are you?
Oh my God, you scared her. Poor Sloan. I mean, Coda.
You guys
Kovu.
did.
It's Kovu.
scared,
Oh my gosh.
I never was into that. I was not into animals, ladies. I was
It was
not.
a cartoon.
I know. I was not.
I wanted him.
I am not. I remember when you and Rebecca used to be obsessed, and I was like, you guys are
Okay.
weird.
Nope.
I thought he was
Doesn't
just
do it for me.
top notch.
No, but I think, like I said, the first session, I don't think it was like she
I
just
did
asked me,
too.
like, why was there, all that stuff. And then I think it was my second one.
Because I thought
He didn't do it.
We like got more
I'll
into
say
like
the
why I was
remake
there,
of
and,
Aladdin,
like,
I
the
was like,
infertility
oh my
part and
gosh.
everything, and
I feel like the
remember,
old Aladdin, I was like,
losing
oh,
it. I was
cute.
like-
He's kind of girly.
I felt
The
so
new one, I was
bad,
like,
and I was like, this is so weird because I don't like crying in front of people. I don't like crying in front of you.
okay. See, I only watched it once, so I don't remember what he looks
the new
like.
Aladdin?
Yeah.
Eric also.
Wait a minute.
Stop.
I know.
It's not true.
Oh my God! I was like, Lexi, I'm gonna cry.
That's not true. But I remember like
Eric was
going
fine.
through that session, and I was just like, wow.
Yes, he
like,
was.
This
He
is,
had
I feel
blue
like this is going to be
eyes.
really helpful because like all
He
the things
was,
that
but
I
he
was
was
like, I shouldn't
still-
feel this way. Like this is dumb, and she'd be like,
Listen, have you ever seen where they
No,
remake
like,
them and they have all like
it's
tattoos
okay.
and stuff
Like
and they
you
did
can
him and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
have these feelings. It doesn't. There's nothing wrong with you. And
I think it's also weird, like how we grew up too.
Yeah.
Like the validation part was like not a thing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't know. We just never were like validated, you know? And so like hearing someone be like, it's okay to feel that way and that's understandable is like, oh, you know, everything normally I feel like before that was just like, you shouldn't feel that way.
Same.
You know, again, it's like the narrative of like, if you are a Christian and you have the joy of the Lord in your heart, then you shouldn't feel that way. And so it's like everything is just like shut everything down, sweep everything under the rug. Don't feel that way.
on the
Just like
ground
ignore it.
entirely.
So like feeling validated, I feel like a lot of times.
I never
is
knew Will
like,
Smith could sing like that, first of all.
Okay.
Second of all, I think they were the ones that stuck closest to the story, because I feel like when they did the live
remember
actions, they
you can cut
changed
this part
so
out.
many
You're not gonna
things.
cut this part out.
I
Which is part
also
of the reason
feel
why
like
I didn't want to
I
watch
think
them.
Beauty and the
when I told my
Beast,
mom.
the one like that one was
good.
so good. I would watch
really
that.
good.
I
Yes.
actually
When I
like.
remember
if I
telling
watch
her
it
like,
now,
oh, Zach's starting therapy, and she was like, I think that's great.
But, like,
It's gonna be
if I
so
watch
good
it
for
now,
him.
I'll
I'm so
watch that
proud
one
of
versus the
him.
old one.
And like my
I keep
sister
forgetting
obviously
about the
started
live
too,
one.
and she was like, same thing, like great. And then I remember texting her and my sister, and
another
like,
one.
I
There's
just
a
want to let you guys
Cinderella
know
live action.
I'm decided to start therapy because I can't even remember if I said
I don't know
why.
if I've ever seen that.
Yeah. And I remember my mom texted me separately
I don't remember
and
that.
said,
Wait, let me see it. Who was
why are
in
you
it?
going to therapy? What's wrong with you? And I was just like,
Oh,
That's what I mean.
know
Like,
well, I've been dealing with this thing in my life, and I don't know how. And she was like, well, I mean, if that's what you feel like you have to do, that's fine. But also, don't forget.
Isn't it
I know,
Lavender
me
Blue?
too.
Grammy used to sing
She's
that
like,
to
don't,
us.
yeah, but that would go well if we did. But she was like,
Yes,
don't
I do
forget,
remember that.
you need to make sure that you're still
used to
praying.
sing
with
loud.
yeah, like that's
And
what
was
I mean. It's like,
I've been doing that, and I need more than that. Like,
right.
and that's okay.
I guess what
I
I
never
don't
watched it.
understand is so
Sarah had me watch that not too long ago, and I was
so
like,
that
wow,
that's a big
actually-
thing with the church, right?
Oh, that's right.
So if you're praying
to
enough
probably
and
work
you're
out
reading your
together, too.
Bible enough and you're
Was it?
in a
Okay.
good relationship with the Lord, then you won't have these feelings, right? Just pray harder.
okay.
Just believe more. Just
it's
have more
dark.
faith.
Okay.
Why
It
is
was
it
funny
then
because
when
it was one
people
of those
have
ones
cancer,
where like you know where
they
the
go to
guy's
get
like, I
cancer
don't want to
treatment,
watch this movie.
or
Yeah,
when
And then
you
Justin was like,
have
wait, so her dad
an
just
infection,
like
they go to the doctor and get
and he would get and he's like,
Or
why did
when
you
you
just
have-
do
you
that?
know what I
Like,
mean?
what
Like,
was he like? He's
blood
just supposed to be a
pressure
bad
problems.
guy. And we're like,
You get
no,
blood
he doesn't
pressure.
understand.
Why
like,
is
trying
it
to
that
explain
you
it.
can go to the doctor
I
and get
thought they did
help
really
and
good
get
with that.
medications and all these things for physical problems, and you're not sitting here saying,
watch
Beauty and
that
the
then.
Beast
oh,
was
if
up
I
there.
just pray hard enough, my blood pressure is going to go down.
Yeah.
I
Right,
didn't
but
even
it's like,
watch
I
it
feel
because
like
I was
mental
so
health
mad.
is-
Yes.
I was
It's,
just
I
like,
feel
I
like
heard
people
that they
should
took
go
out
to a.
Mushu and
I
all
feel
this
like
stuff, and I was like,
everyone
I'm not
should,
even
just the
watching
same way
this.
you go to your primary care
loyalty.
doctor for a
Yeah.
physical every year.
Right.
Everyone should have a mental health checkup.
that ruins
How's it?
it.
Just-
She wasn't
just-
supposed to have a power.
How's your mental health? Like just once a year, even. And
Absolutely
if you
not.
need it more than that, then you need it more. But like,
out
it's the
all
same
the
thing with the
songs?
doctors.
Yeah, no.
You go, you get checked up once a year just to make sure everything's good.
I
And
did
if
not
there's
even watch it
problems
because
or
of that
issues,
reason.
then you can go
the
more. Or
Grace don't drag
you know what I mean? Like that's what I don't understand.
I just
don't
woke up.
Now that I'm in therapy, I totally like
You
get that. Like
lied
before,
to
I
me?
literally have never been against therapy.
Yeah.
But there was just a point in time where I was like, oh, I don't really.
I
get
also
it. Now
heard
I'm
that
in it,
the
I'm like, this is amazing.
Jungle
Like,
Book
I
was
literally
so
don't
amazing.
know.
I didn't
how
watch it. I didn't
I've,
watch
like,
it.
I don't think I
so
watched
long
that one
without it.
either.
Like I think I've been going for almost a year at this point.
I feel like The Lion
I'm
King
like-
wasn't that good either.
I've cut back. Like I don't go as.
I
often
watched
anymore.
part of it,
I
and
feel
I was
like
like,
I'm too loyal to books.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
and I was bored. Yeah, it's not the same. Not the same. I think there's some of them that they can remake as
Right.
live ones, and then other ones they should just leave it.
You know what
alone.
also was good that I was thinking about? Alice in Wonderland. They did really good with that too, because I didn't
Yeah.
really love the old movie
Right.
until I got older, and then when I watched
Yeah.
the newer one, they did
It's so true though.
that's-
I started going in 2018,
Yes.
and I was going. I don't think I
Kids
ever went
doctor
like
in
every
general,
week. I think
so
maybe
there's
every
that.
2
You
weeks
can
in the
do any of
beginning,
those rules.
and then it was like after a few sessions of that then it was like once a month, and then it kind of just like spread out after a while. Because it got to the point where she was like, I don't think you need me as much anymore. But still, like when you're going through things or like you're having a rough time, it's like so
I
nice
feel
to
like
be
I
able
might
to
know,
have
not know
someone
some
that
of
you can
yours,
just go
because
to
now I
and
know the older movies
like
better.
I don't know.
I started obviously going every week, and then I remember when I switched to every 2 weeks, I was like, I feel like I'm like in a spot where I don't need
that.
that.
From when we went to,
I was like, I don't know
no,
you.
I was
Aw.
like when we went to Disney, that
She's like,
video where
yeah.
he had
She's
to
like, this is
said,
the
"Don't be
goal." She's like, I don't want you to have to see me every
Right,
week. She's
right.
like, that's the point of therapy. And she's like, and eventually you're not gonna have to see me at all.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I
no.
don't know.
'Cause I actually went a few weeks ago. And I was like,
Oh.
I was like, so, I was
Wow,
actually
I
thinking like a
didn't
few
say
days
I don't
ago,
know
like,
her.
pretty good. Like, I think
See,
I
I
could
feel like
switch to
Tangled,
like once a
Frozen,
month.
I don't
and
know
then,
those
Yes.
very well
I don't
because I
even
didn't
remember
like them
what
very
happened.
much.
You
Or
didn't like-
Brave.
I don't know, it's like,
Oh,
I liked
I
Brave.
don't really.
Brave is really
anything
good.
to do with
Brave
I
is
thought
really
Brave
good.
was the
Doing here
best
if it
of
was
those.
just something
Like, I
else
didn't
going
really
on.
like. I
You
never
never saw
liked
Brave?
Frozen.
Like, yeah, there's no way that I'm
Underrated.
ready to go to once a month. And I
Yeah.
remember going into that session
Ow, the
and just like,
audacity. The audacity.
like unleashing all of the things that I had been
Oh,
storing
you only
in my
did
head
one?
for the
Alright,
last
no.
3 days, and she was like,
Oh, okay. Okay.
"You're like really like
softest
up
hands
here
in
right now." I was
all
like,
of Paris.
And then I like by the end of it, she's like,
Yeah.
"You seem better." I was like, "Yeah, I feel a lot better." I was like, "Yeah, I actually was
I
gonna
don't
ask
know
you
any
if I
of
could
those.
You
go
don't
once a
remember
month."
that?
And she's
So
Oh
like,
my
embarrassing.
God.
I don't think we're there yet. I was like, "Nope, we are not.
No.
I am not ready for that."
Yeah.
And he's
But I feel like
hilarious.
the fact too
He's
that
the best
I
part of
am
the
able to
movie.
like recognize that too is like a huge because even she was like, "That's good that you like."
I literally
know
don't
that
even
you're not
remember
there.
You'll have to watch it.
All of mine are like from the same
Definitely
three
not.
movies, which is
But also too, I think I started
I
therapy
said
thinking I was gonna be like just talking about one specific thing,
Right.
and
Realize it
King.
carried
now,
into like
yeah,
other parts of your life.
brought up so many other things going on in my life that I didn't realize were actually
said
causing me
Kate
anxiety.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh,
those hyenas are
They are
a huge thing in my life.
those are good
That's
side characters.
not good. So
Shanzi Marie, I know what you're thinking. We're too
Yeah.
different. What will the children look like?
Lion King.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Lion.
but I also remember like you at one point when you were in therapy, like in
We
the
just got off on
beginning.
a tangent.
I was like, have you
It's
talked
fine.
about like this and this? And you're like, no, I don't
She
need
did,
to.
yeah.
And I was like,
She thought it was your quote,
I
though.
feel like yes, you do. No, I know. But you're like, I don't need to ever talk about it. Yes, that was such a good one. And then you finally brought it up, and you're like,
But you have
oh,
to
yeah,
do
so
it
we
in the
finally
British
talked about
accent.
this,
Oh,
and
good
she had a lot to say about it. I was like, yep.
I feel like a lot of
Shall I
times you
leave you
don't
in the
know until you
black
know.
bowl
Yeah.
alone?
I remember like when I was talking about when my therapist asked me like physical symptoms, like what are the physical symptoms you're having, and I never really recognized it. I think it's because I was having those physical symptoms for so long.
Berries
Like,
when they're making the dress.
so
I
what she
know
did
it
was
when you say
after
it,
I was
but,
like,
like, it's
oh, okay, yeah, I do
Oh,
kind of
that
have
is
like
a
a pit in my
classic.
stomach, and I okay, yeah, I feel nauseous or like I have a lump in my throat, whatever. She was like, I want you to think back to a time when you were a kid.
Thank you. Okay, good.
I want you to think back to a time when you were a kid and you were having those same symptoms. And I was like, I don't know. Because I just had it for so long. I was
Yes,
just so
Toy
used
Story
to like,
2.
it was just a normal feeling.
This is so
So
bad.
then once
when we
she
were in the aisle with
really
the
started
Barbies.
I feel like
saying,
we were like
go
on
back
a game.
and
I would
think
I'd be
to
losing so much money right now.
when you were having these symptoms most as a kid. And it was always when I was in trouble. I would feel a pit in my stomach. I would feel sick to my stomach. I would feel nauseous. I would feel like my heart was racing. It was always when I was in trouble. And so that I feel like that's when my anxiety like started. And it just carried into adulthood and everything. And we kind of like connected stuff of like, when I'm having anxiety, it's because I feel like I'm in trouble or something bad's going to happen or I'm going to get punished for something I did. Or even if I didn't do something wrong, I was having
Monsters,
anxiety
Inc.
thinking that something bad was going to happen.
10 hours
Or
out,
like, you know, I was gonna be punished for some. Yeah.
Leave for Puce. Oh, so that's Puce. Yes.
Wait, why did you say?
Take a tunnel to the underground.
He was saying I was tapping.
Horse to Greek. Well, why don't you guys find somewhere for it to sleep while I think of a plan?
Do you think if the movie was just like started, you could recite any movie from start to finish?
Yes.
I would with Mulan, definitely.
I think Mulan I could do it, but I don't know if any other ones. I feel
I
like
think Encanto I could. Moana,
definitely not.
I can do a lot of them, but Ava gets mad at me, so I
Yeah.
don't repeat
I
them.
think Mulan for sure is like the top one I would be able to repeat from start to finish.
Could you, Lex? You. Yep. Isn't it you? It was me? I just said be yourself.
Oh.
And then she said the, what did you say something? You said something else. What did you say?
The Mulan quote.
Oh, I think we went back around, but it
Did
doesn't
we?
matter.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I lost track. No, I just said she's out of our hair. Oh, okay, then it's Sarah.
Oh yeah, because then I started saying nobody else was like close that I haven't. You're just like me. Trash.
Oh, you just said
You
that
said that
from
Toy Story 4.
from
No,
the-
you said
with
that
the fork,
earlier.
with the fork, right?
Forky. Yep. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
Yeah.
Cricky, get the bags.
I know.
I feel like any Mulan quotes we just know because we've quoted it so much. I like won't even say anymore because I just have so many.
He made a big deal.
I feel like
she said
anytime someone's like, oh, so,
the last
and
time
if
she
the
was at
word
her
woman comes up, I'm always like,
Friend's house because it's 4th of July.
Uh-huh.
And she brought
A
Jameson
woman.
inside.
you men owe me a new pair of slippers, and I do not squeal like a girl.
Sitting on the couch talking on a phone.
Okay. Yeah.
The only
And Ben, I guess Ben
I
called
have
and
a
literally like
rash.
within 30 seconds.
have
he
a
was like,
rash?
Oh well, he doesn't seem interested, so I'm gonna hang up.
He's like,
And then
I
he
have a
literally
rash.
texted my sister like 10 times
You have a
about how
rash?
she's supposed to be
yes.
like home when she's doing these. He's supposed to have privacy with him, and she was like, I brought you outside. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. He's 2. He's like, you should have done this a different way. I knew you were gonna want to talk. All this
He's
stuff.
Again, those are those like
insane. He is
subliminal things that he's put in
clinically
there.
insane.
He's like, I don't care what your
I
lawyer
feel bad
says.
for her.
He's like, I'm gonna bring all of this.
Is that from the jungle?
Okay,
I was
go
gonna
for
say
it.
the freaking snake.
He's just threatens her and threatens her and threatens her and threatens her. He is so delusional.
I was like, not to mention.
He said that the last time I had a cold. I was like,
Right.
oh,
Right.
yes.
Oh man.
Okay.
Are you sure this water's sanitary? It looks questionable to me.
Cantor, it's fine, honey.
He's like, wow, Jean's in a good spot.
That's all the quotes I wrote down, but they're still in my head.
Gonna be practicing, so like.
Wrong lever.
I know there's gonna be stuff that has to get done. So.
Wish I could come, y'all. Oh, sorry.
Wait, what is that? See, I am not gonna know.
Oh, I have to sneeze.
Where were we?
I'm trying to think. I didn't put anything else.
Oh yes, deplorable. Adorable.
That's one we didn't talk
Yes,
Treasure Planet. So good. Jimbo.
it was.
It was so good.
It was really good.
Oh, I had a crush on
Jim
Jimbo.
Hawkins.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, James
Yeah.
Cleodes Hawkins.
Is that your head is too massive for your teeny tiny body, or is it the other way around?
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was saying. When she was like, think back to when you were a kid.
There's something else that he says
And
about.
it was
that
always
we
when I
didn't
was in
catch
trouble,
on till
getting
later.
punished and stuff. So I always thought something bad was going to happen because that's how it always was when I was a
It's
kid.
like the kind of.
I don't know if you've ever met my dad before.
And she's like, happy we wouldn't have been.
Scary.
Oh,
he was when we were
yes.
kids.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
I think he also went through some sort of
Astronomically.
classes
Yes,
or
and I
something.
never got that until I was older. I was like,
You can
oh
cut
my
that all out.
God.
Okay. Yeah.
Was
I know,
I
like,
ever
my
dancing with an
therapist
android named
does a lot of,
Lupe?
My dad cried in
Like
that
she
movie,
makes
I'm
me
pretty
go
sure.
through like
Yeah.
the what ifs
Yeah,
of things.
my dad.
I remember
cries.
the
My
first
dad is like
time
not an
we
emotional
did it.
person
I
until
can't even remember
it's
what it was
either
about, but I remember just
old
like
Disney
crying through
movies
the whole
or
thing. She was like,
home,
"This is good."
like
she's
home
like, "But you need to
redo,
like."
Home renovation.
She's
Yes.
like, "Why? What is it?"
He
that's
will.
scaring you?
I'll
You
look
have to, like,
over and he's
figure it
crying, and
out.
I'm like, oh my god. And my dad's like so
Oh.
She's like, "I don't
yeah.
care. You're doing it."
Sobs.
anyways."
Yeah.
But she was like,
So
"All right,
cute.
so you're worried about this
I
happening.
feel like me and Mikhail.
What
always
if it
like,
does?" And
Jimbo.
I was like, "Well, then this is gonna happen." She's like, "Okay." Then what if that happens? And I was like, well, then this and this. And then we just kind of like went through the whole thing. And I was like, oh, so like this is actually what I'm worried about. It's not actually this thing.
Yeah.
And so now, like, a lot of times when I'm having, like, anxiety about
I had a couple
something,
more from Mulan,
I
but
can
I
do
feel like
that.
we
And, like,
still-
it doesn't always help. But a lot of times it does.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, all right, what am I actually worried about?
Me and Mikhail will use that frequently.
It doesn't
Yes,
seem to
I
help.
remember.
I did have. I've got
And I
a
remember
caffeine
telling her
patch. You could say it
a couple
for
sessions
days with
back.
no
So
side
I was like,
effects.
really worried about this
Sorry.
thing, and I like did the what ifs, and it actually helped. She was like,
Bring them cookies,
Lucille. Like I know what I'm talking about. I was like, yeah, I guess. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy to like get to the root of stuff.
Why
You're
is
like,
he wearing
okay,
glasses?
why am
Oh,
I
'cause
actually
his
feeling
insurance
this
doesn't pay for
way?
contacts.
Oh, that makes sense.
Wait, what is the part where he talks about his head being on backwards? He's like,
Oh yeah.
I think my sweater's on backwards.
Oh no, it's the freaking.
You have more important things going on.
Here, on his arm.
You invited me. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But yes, his head was on backwards. He always had a face on the back of his head to make it look like he was wearing things backwards. I don't know.
The other one from that movie.
Yeah.
That's the one I was always thinking of. Where he's like, I guess I don't really need a duck. Where he's
The owl stigma.
Oh, I can turn him into a duck. Oh, it's so evil. Oh, but I don't know how to.
need a duck.
That was a good one.
It's porridge, and it's happy.
See ya.
Wait, you forgot your porridge.
Right.
I
I
literally
like when
say
he's
that
like,
at work.
Mulan. He like pulls up the head. He's like,
you would
nope,
die.
nope. Mulan. Fingers.
Okay with
Dying.
dying?
This tattoo will
But not
protect me from
because you
harm.
Purposely were like, I don't need this insulin because
I'm Yao.
Your great granddaughter turned out to be a prostitute.
You have homicidal thoughts, suicidal thoughts.
There are. Oh man.
He's like, lizard. I don't do that tongue thing. Oh my gosh, I said it even wrong.
Oh, man.
Ah,
So I think we all agree that Mulan is.
Why you?
definitely.
Yeah, he didn't say it like this, but like basically.
Grandma, no!
When she's
Right.
Crossing the street.
Right, yeah.
No! This cricket's the lucky one.
She just
With the cricket in her back of her dress.
Also, that song where the matchmaker song, that
Beads of jade.
I feel like that's also one of my favorite ones. You
Can't blow it.
Yeah, it's a good point of you can't control it. I think that's a
patient woman.
yeah.
big thing of anxiety is like because things are out of your control and we try to
you know.
control things
It
and
is what it is.
we can't.
You must celebrate. What did she say? Where she's like, you
A
must
sense of
demonstrate
refinement and dignity.
Like,
You could say it's no.
I literally don't care what people think about me.
Well, this was
I
fun.
know you. Your opinion has meaning.
I could feel that way.
Yeah. Seriously.
I care way
Also,
too
I feel
much
like
what
a
people think
general-
about
I'm
me.
the same way.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
true.
I was gonna say holidays. Yeah, holidays
Yes.
are pretty much just quotes.
Yeah.
Definitely should do this again.
Oh, you guys, you know, Brianna, her cousins,
I could see him laughing.
sisters.
Yeah, it's only
No, I
funny
could see
for
him
us.
laughing at
No,
things.
this was really funny. So thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
How you want to do it again?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I think it's a generational thing too. Like,
We'll see you in the
yeah,
next
the
3 to
older
4 months.
generation, I feel like there's definitely like a
Summertime.
stigma and
But yeah, thanks for listening.
you know
Keep an eye out for future episodes.
that kind of thing. And I think there's different like churches too. Like you said, your church is really supportive. I feel like
The theme song.
the church that I go to now
pretty
is
good,
really like even the pastors talk
I feel like
about
maybe
like
if we had a
I
little
his
really
anxiety.
didn't know
He's
what
been
it
to
was.
therapy and stuff like that. So I think that's really awesome. And